Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you are in the Prog Corner today. Oh, yeah, I'm doing it, man. I'm going to rank the top 50 prog bands of all time. This is not necessarily my 50 favorite bands of all time. This is just the 50 bands that I think are the top prog bands by whatever criteria you want to come up with. I have no idea. Couple bands, I'm doing a top 50, so there's a bunch of bands obviously not going to make this list, so I apologize. If your favorite band's not on the list, there's some, gray area bands I'm not including, like Radiohead, Muse, Electric Light Orchestra, Uriah Heep, Deep Purple. Bunch of solo artists I omitted because they were in bands that are already on the list. Steven Wilson, Neil Morse, Steve Hackett, Peter Gabriel, Rick Wakeman. So what... I'm sorry to say, but number 51 was UK, number 52 was Haken. I'm sorry that those two bands didn't make the list, but anyway, here's the top 50, man. This is what I came up with at number 50. I'm going with Soft Machine. Oh, absolutely, man. Early Soft Machine was kind of psychedelic, then they went all jazzy, but they were always a band that was interesting. Mike Ratledge, Robert Wyatt, the list of people who played in Soft Machine, just insane. What an amazing band. At number 43, from the ashes of At the Drive-In, came the Mars Volta. And man, oh man, I was a huge fan of the At the Drive-In. So you tell me they're going prog. Oh, I was a happy guy and they didn't let me down, man. I love the Mars Volta. At number 48, going to Germany and Eloy, a band that suffered from having to be compared to Pink Floyd all the time. And maybe early on, some of that comparison was accurate, but they've turned into their own thing after the 50 plus years Frank Borman has been doing his thing. Just amazing. At number 47, well, let's go with Spock's Beard, maybe a little bit low. I don't care, but, he's got two bands on this list, so I'm not too worried about it. I love the first 6 Spock's Beard albums with Neil Morse. And then the next 4 with Nick DiVirgilio singing were great. And then the last 3 with Ted Leonard have been good, man. So they're a band that never does anything bad. I love them. At number 46, this is our first Italian band on the list. It's Le Orme. Yeah, if you don't know Le Orme, imagine Emerson, Lake and Palmer with John Anderson singing Italian in the band. That's kind of what you get with them. They're amazing. At number 45, Caravan makes the list. Yes, they do, boys and girls. Absolutely, they do. One of the foundational bands in our genre. Yeah, I don't have nearly enough Canterbury bands on this list because, it's a top 50, man. If I had a top 100, there'd be a whole lot more. At number 44... here's one of those gray area bands I decided to leave in. It's the Alan Parsons Project, primarily because of, Alan Parsons, right, and his production work with Dark Side of the Moon. Certainly gives it a little bit more of a prog bona fide than maybe some of those other bands that I omitted from the list, but whatever. At number 43, it's Wobbler. Oh, man, the great retro prog band out of Norway. These guys have 5 albums out, and all 5 of them are absolutely stellar. I love them. At number 42, it's Nectar, a band I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch next week as we do Nectar Week here on the show. Oh, yeah, I love this band. Formed in Germany, although they were British guys, so everybody always kind of thought of them as krautrock, but amazing band. At number 41, here's a proto-prog band that helped start the whole thing. It's Procol Harum, man. They might be responsible for the very first prog single with The Whiter Shade of Pale, so they definitely deserve to be on this list. Absolutely. At number 40, let's go to Poland and Riverside. What? Riverside's on the list, but Haken isn't? Well, I just think Riverside's got a little bit more international reach. I think Riverside has definitely positioned themselves to be one of the biggest bands in the world. I love them. I think they're amazing, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for Riverside. Talking about them like they're a brand new band or something is ridiculous. At number 39, let's talk about the rock and opposition movement and Henry Cow. This was the band that started the whole thing. I guess they formed the whole festival, 1978, the Rock and Opposition Festival, where they bring in Universe Zero and Samla Mamas Mana from Sweden and all those weird bands. But Henry Cow, man, Fred Frith, Chris Cutler, Lindsey Cooper, Tim Hodgkinson, just such a strange, bizarre band all over the place. You need to hear them. You really do. At number 38, it's Coheed and Cambria. Why is Coheed and Cambria on this list? It's on the list because I said so, man. They've got a whole multi-album suite storytelling going on and on and on about the Armory Wars and stuff. That sounds pretty prog to me. And if your lead singer sounds like Geddy Lee, yeah, you're going to make the list. At number 37, it's Gong, the great bizarro band, international collective started by David Allen and now led by the great Kavis Tarobi. The last two Gong albums have been amazing. Of course, everybody points to those early ones, but Gong is just very, very special. Very cool band. At number 36, I'm going with The Tangent. Oh, I love Andy Tillison. He's the guy that keeps my morals straight. He's the guy that always is thinking about stuff, big picture stuff, so I don't have to. Thank you, Andy. If you like your symphonic prog mixed with a little bit of Canterbury, The Tangent just might be your band. 13 albums, 13 winners. Yeah, you can't do much better than that. At number 35, it's IQ, one of the great second wave neo-prog bands that rolled through in the early 80s. These guys put out 2 early albums that were great, and then they fell, like every other band did in the 80s, they kind of, fell for that whole, hey, let's go commercial and have some hits kind of thing. But Peter Nichols came back in the band, and they've been fantastic ever since. At number 34, it's Can, but is krautrock really prog rock? I really don't know, but yeah, listen to the rhythm section on Can. Those early Can records, man, just incredible. That sounds like prog rock to me. I really don't know. Help me out, guys. Maybe I'm wrong here. At number 33, ditto with Tangerine Dream, another band out of Germany that maybe doesn't fit exactly into, a progressive rock pigeonhole. But yeah, man, when I first heard these guys like doing soundtracks for Risky Business and Thief and Legend, I kind of pigeonholed them in with like Vangelis and Tomita and Kitaro and all that kind of electronic stuff. But hey, Tangerine Dream was actually a band, man, and they were a good band too. Awesome. They're still going. They're not done yet, even though, Peter Bowman and Edgar Frosse and what's the other cat's name? Christopher Frank. They're no longer with us, but Tangerine Dream still is. At number 32 is fusion prog. Well, I'm adding some of the big names to some of those adjacent subgenres here because they need to be included, man. Mahu Vishnu Orchestra, yeah, it's a jazz fusion band, I guess, but they sound like prog to me. And if you influenced artists as diverse as Todd Rundgren and Yes with your music, you're prog, absolutely. At number 31, it's Hawkwind, man. Oh, yeah, I did my Hawkwind ranking earlier this year, and I really kind of failed to realize that I kind of like every single album these guys have ever done. There's been a whole bunch of them too, man. Very cool band. Dave Brock's still doing it. Fantastic. I love them. At number 30, it's Banco del Maturo Soccorso. Oh, you guys know I love me my Italian prog, and this is no different. I just love this band. Francesco Giacomo, man, his voice. Oh, those vocals, those operatic vocals. I just love Banco. Such a great band. At number 29, let's go with Big Big Train. Nothing's going to stop the Big Big Train. Nothing, man. David Longdon died, but that's all right. We got Alberto Brevin. They're still going strong. Their last album was absolutely fantastic. So, the future looks super bright for Big Big Train. At number 28, here's another modern prog band, still going strong, dropping a new album here in a couple months, I guess. It's Opeth. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot Opeth on this list. I got my top 50 done, and I was just about ready to hit record. I'm like, uh-oh, somebody's missing here. Oops. Yeah, that would have been embarrassing. At number 27, I'm going with Styx. Absolutely. And they might not have made this list had it not been for their last 2 albums, The Mission and Crash of the Crown, even though they had that 4-album run of Equinox, Crystal Ball, The Grand Illusion, and Pieces of 8, which were pretty much unimpeachable. But they had so much schmaltz along the way that you kind of forget they were prog. But they are prog, and I got them at number 27. At number 26, it's the Moody Blues. And yeah, they're a proto-prog band, but, there would be no prog without Mike Pinder and his Mellotron. Absolutely. One of the most important figures in the history of the development of our genre is Mike Pinder and his band, Moody Blues. Absolutely, they deserve to be here. At number 25, here's a band I don't like, right? This isn't Scott's 25 favorite bands. This is the top 50 prog bands of all time, and Magma's got to be on there, boys and girls. Absolutely. If you start not only your own subgenre, but you create your own language, come on, man. You're doing something no other band has ever done. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of bands that popped up trying to sound just like Magma, right? There are a lot of bands that popped up that tried to sound like Yes or Genesis, and they got disparaged as being clones, right? But there's all these Zool bands that sound exactly like Magma, and nobody has a problem with that. I'm confused. Help me out there. At number 24, let's go with Tool. Yeah, there's another band where their prog bona fides can be discussed and debated or whatnot. All I know is Danny Carey's playing and beat, right? He's playing with Adrian Belew and Steve Vai and Tony Levin. That's pretty prog. Tool's prog, forget about it. At number 23, it's Angligard, the band that helped bring prog back from the brink of death back in the 90s with their two stellar albums, Hybris and Epilogue. Just amazing. I love them. Great band. At number 22, we're going to the Netherlands and Focus. Yeah, one of the rarities, a prog band actually having a big radio hit. Well, Focus was more than just a dude, yodeling. They were a lot more than that. Their new album just came out a couple weeks ago. It's incredible. Focus is still going strong. Incredible band. At number 21, it's Porcupine Tree. Yeah, boys and girls, you can't do a prog list without one Steven Wilson popping up somewhere on here. And I got him at number 21. Honestly, his solo career to me is probably more interesting than the band's stuff, but I'm kind of lumping it all together. And here we go. Here's the top 20. Yeah, Porcupine Tree didn't make the top 20. Very interesting. At number 20, I'm going with the Flower Kings, man. I am just such a huge fanboy. I am so biased that I actually brought them down a couple slots because I know that's just my fanboy brain kicking in, thinking they're the greatest band of all time. Number 20 feels about right. They've got 16 albums out, and all 16 of them are amazing. Can't do much better than that. At number 19, it's Mike Oldfield, one of only two solo artists I've got on here. You'll see about the other one here in a minute, but Mike Oldfield absolutely needs to be on this list. He's progressive as can be, man. I mean, Tubular Bells, Hergest Ridge, Omadon, Amarok. Come on, man. This guy's amazing. I love him. And he's really underrated as a guitarist. He really, really is. I think he's amazing. At number 18, it's Marillion. Oh, the leading light of that neo-prog movement in the early 90s, or 80s rather. And of course, Fish had those 4 great albums. Then he left, and then everybody went all crazy and kind of started hating on Marillion and hating on H. And it did take a couple albums for H to kind of figure out where he belongs and how the music should go. But, once they got to Brave, they had figured it out, and they put out so many good albums since. You got Marbles and Fear and the new one. Just amazing. I love Marillion. At number 17, it's Supertramp. Another band, some people are going to be like, oh, they're not prog. Yes, they are. They are prog. Get over it. All day. Prog band. Look it up. I love Supertramp. Just because they had a couple hits, right? That doesn't mean they're not prog. Okay. At number 16, let's talk about Dream Theater. Yeah, Mike Portnoy's back in the band. Everybody's all excited and whatnot. And, I was a guy that thought Mangini might have actually been a better fit just in terms of the way he plays drums. But Portnoy is the guy that, pulls it all together and thematically makes it all work. So we're all excited about a new Dream Theater album. Absolutely we are. At number 15, the biggest of the Italian bands, it's PFM. Yeah, there were those 3 big Italian bands, Banco, Le Arme, and PFM. PFM was the first one signed to an American label, or a English label. I guess Greg Lake signed them to the Manticore label, and then had them do some English language stuff with Peter Sinfield doing lyrics. Nobody wants to hear that, man. Nobody wanted to hear English version of PFM. Nobody wanted to hear an Italian version of PFM. Americans and English audiences want to hear stuff in English. That's the way it is, but they're wrong. They're dead wrong. At number 14, it's Camel, perhaps the most underrated of all prog bands. Camel never got their due in the 70s. They're still not getting their due, man. How is that possible? When you put albums like Moon Madness and the Snow Goose and Nude and Mirage out, man, what a great band. I love them. At number 13, yeah, all 4 members of this band, their mother bands are already on the list. So yeah, let's throw Transatlantic in there. Made up from members of the Flower King, Spock's Beard, Dream Theater, and Marillion. You know the story. They got 5 albums out. All 5 of them are great. Don't hold your breath for a 6th album, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. At number 12, it's Renaissance. Sadly, the only group on this list with a female vocalist. That kind of hurts my heart a little bit. I would have loved to have put Curved Air in there. I would have loved to have put Magenta or Bentney or some of those other bands. But, this is how I call it. I got Renaissance right here at number 12 because they were amazing. Annie Haslam, absolute genius. Love her. At number 11, it's Vandergraaf Generator, a band a lot of people just can't seem to wrap their minds around. Peter Hamill's vocals, the lyrics, the dark nature of the music is a little off-putting to those of us who, grew up with a certain type of prog with fairy sprites and, magical spiders in the dark forest or something like that. But, Vandergraaf Generator, just amazing. I love them. At number 10, it's the second solo artist on the list. And it's none other than Frank Zappa. You can't even really call him a solo artist. What is Frank Zappa, right? How do you categorize him? You cannot. He is uncategorizable. How do you say that word? That's a weird word. Uncategorizable. Anyway, that's Frank Zappa. He deserves to be in here. Top 10 sounds right, so I got him at number 10. At number 9, I'm going with Kansas. Oh, I'm an American guy, so I got to have my Kansas on this list, and I adore them. Particularly, those first 6 albums are so strong, but, their last 2 albums have been really, really good, just like Styx. They came up, after a couple of less than great albums, but Kansas is back in a big way. You got Tom Breslin in the band, who's played with Yes and Renaissance. The future of Kansas is bright. At number 8, a band that's future is not bright, it's Rush. Yeah. R.I.P. Neil, we love you. We love Rush. I have come around on a certain Rush album, ladies and gentlemen. I was on record as saying that I hated Grace Under Pressure, and I did for years and years. I never liked that album, but I was wrong. I listened to it again many times over, in fact, and I was wrong about Grace Under Pressure. So now I can say I actually like all 19 Rush albums. At number 7. Oh, it's Gentle Giant, man. Oh, the little band that could. Oh, this is a band that could do anything, man. You look at the instrumentation and the talent level of this band, just completely off the chart. Yeah, they're a little bit wacky and, crazy with their medieval sounds and all their instruments shuffling around. And, certain people have, trouble getting into their music. I understand that, but man, do yourself a favor. Spend a little bit more time with Gentle Giant if you haven't, because as soon as it clicks, man, it'll be one of the happiest days of your life, I guarantee you. At number 6, it's Jethro Tull, a band Gentle Giant had toured with several times in the 70s. But unlike Yes, I guess Ian Anderson didn't give the boys in Gentle Giant a cold shoulder. Ian Anderson, I guess, was a big friend to the band. And I love Tull, man. Let's just be honest. Tull in the 70s was just incredible, man. And you talk about a band that had back-to-back albums with one song on them. And both of them hit number 1 in the U.S. In fact, the only 2 albums Jethro Tull ever had that hit number 1 are the 2 with one song on them. It doesn't make any sense at all, but that just shows how great Jethro Tull was. And that just shows you how great the 70s were. At number 5, I'm going with the mighty Pink Floyd, boys and girls. And I don't want to hear that they're not prog. I don't want to hear that. Listen to Metal, listen to Obscured by Clouds, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and Animals. Yeah, I know the stuff before that run and the stuff after that run, not really all that prog, but those albums happened. You can't ignore them. You can't just pretend they're Pink Floyd isn't prog because of Piper at the Gates of Dawn. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that album is not a prog album. But Animals is, so get over it. Pink Floyd's a prog band. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. At number 4, I'm going with the mighty Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the most pompous, pretentious, over-the-top prog band that ever was. Yeah, kind of like me, so I guess it's not a big shocker that I love me some ELP. Probably the best concert I ever saw was with the 60-piece orchestra and the 30-voice choir for the Works Volume 1 tour, 1977. Blew my mind. They opened with Piano Concerto No. 1. Who does that? Who opens your rock concert with a classical, the 20-minute classical piece? whatever. At number 3, it's King Crimson. It has to be King Crimson, the mighty King Crimson that started it all. Or, they kind of sort of did, whatever. It doesn't matter the lineup. It doesn't matter the era. Everything Robert Fripp and his boys did were really interesting, really awesome. I love all their records. And they're back as Beat with Danny Carey, Steve Vai, Adrian Belew, and Tony Levin. And peep some of those videos, man. That is sounding real good. Get tickets if you can. At number 2, I'm going with the mighty Genesis. Absolutely, I am. Yeah, a lot of people were disheartened in the 80s when they went commercial, but the way I looked at it, man, you wrote Supper's Ready. You wrote The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. You can do whatever you want the rest of your life. I don't care, man. Go make as much money as you want. You deserve it, man. For writing Supper's Ready, all 5 of you clowns should be billionaires. All 5 of you. So yeah, write your hits. I ain't mad at you. At number 1, I'm going with Yes, my favorite band of all time. And tomorrow I will be talking about 10 things I hate about Yes. So I'm not going to say a whole lot more about Yes. They are my favorite band of all time. But there's certain things about that band that just absolutely drives me bananas. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Free Tibet. Free the Ukraine. And guess what? God save the king. Save King Chucky. Oh, that boy could use your saving. Bring him to America. I hear he ain't doing so good. Maybe he got them cancer cells in him, so we can take him, make him swim. Oh, yeah, it'll be good for him. Swim to America. Get those guns going. Oh, he could use that exercise. And once he's over here, we're going to lay hands on him. The healing hands of the faithful are going to be all over that boy. We'll do spells and incantations. Our prayer warriors are working overtime. Oh, King Chucky's not feeling too good. He's got the cancer. Oh, we're going to fix him up real good. Our prayer warriors will get him good. Oh, it ain't going to work. We're going to drink some poison, and that's not going to kill us off. And then we're going to dance with snakes. Oh, no. Oh, they're big ones. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, no. Oh, you got good bites to him. Oh, help. Oh, I got the Spirit of the Lord in me. Oh, he's got those snakes. He took them away from me. Anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.